Welcome, LNC alumni. I'm Chip Hagan. I was around at the formation of LNC, and I want to tell you a little bit about it because while some of you go back that far, most of you do not. So I'm hoping I can share a little bit of information that you may find interesting about the formation of Leadership North Carolina, how it's grown, and what it means to our community now. Back in the 1980s, Marion Phillips was leading Leadership Greensboro at the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce. And through attending conferences, she had become knowledgeable about how other states had leadership programs. And they were designed to address issues of a statewide instead of a community-wide perspective. So Marion decided that we ought to have one in North Carolina. And I became a good friend of Marion, having gone through Leadership Greensboro with her, and then starting the Triad Leadership Network. And then she came to me and said, we need to do a statewide leadership development program. So I guess a little bit before 1980, she had actually gone on the Secretary of State's website and had reserved the name of Leadership North Carolina. In 1990, we filed articles of organization, and it was some 5 years after that before we actually had our first class. But one of the things that we did when we started it is we knew we needed leaders that had substance and that would be recognized within the state. At first, we started just in North Carolina. The founding committee was Bill Garrett, Rich Pryor, Henry Fry, Stanley Frank, and me. And Marion Phillips was our executive director who ran the program. We had decided that we wanted to try to approach Bill about chairing this because he had more statewide recognition than the rest of us did. So we took him to lunch and asked him if he'd be willing to serve as the chair. And he made an interesting comment. He said, I'm getting ready to retire next year, and North Carolina has given me so much, and I was really looking for a way in which I could give back to North Carolina. He said, I'd love to. So we formed the initial board, was the 5 of us. Marion moved from the chamber offices to an office adjoining Bill Garrett's office out at the Bell Center. And we began raising the money, and we're raising awareness among the people of North Carolina. Bill was the chair, and Marion and I went around the state with him to make proposals to various different companies, asking for their support, financial support, and an endorsement of the program. Following that, we were able to form the organization, had the financial support that we needed, and made a call for our first class. And I will tell you, the first class was a great class. And I was the program chair because I was probably more committed to it than anybody else was besides Bill. And we had our first class, and from there, while the program has changed and it's developed, it's really a lot like what we did in the first class. The whole idea behind Leadership North Carolina was to recognize that there are issues that don't just affect one community, they affect the state as a whole. And if we're going to be prosperous and really do well in this country, we need to be able to bring people from across North Carolina together. We also recognize that there are many times that an issue comes up that's been addressed by somebody in Asheville that can give some guidance to somebody in Wilmington about how they address the issue and can help Wilmington address the problem that they have. So we wanted to have interaction among the participants that were there. We wanted them to get to know each other, to feel comfortable with them on a personal level, and to be able to learn from each other. Not only to learn about our state and to learn about the issues that the state was facing, but also about each other and what our state was all about. So we started from the beginning traveling across North Carolina. The only way you can really know North Carolina is to see it. And so we went from the coast to the Piedmont to the mountains with our classes so that we would be able to let people see the state and understand what the state was all about. We always started with a history presentation because most people that were in the program didn't grow up in North Carolina. And they didn't go to school in North Carolina in public schools where they taught you about the history of North Carolina. We've always enjoyed being able to bring people together from across the state. And we've also recognized the fact that there's an important role to be played by Leadership North Carolina in bringing people from different classes together, building opportunities and bonds within Leadership North Carolina graduates. And guess what? There are over 1,200 now. There are people from all over North Carolina that have participated in this program, and they're helping our state identify and solve some of the problems that we had and some of the problems that we continue to have and will have into the future. It's an incredible organization, and I owe it to the alumni, because the alumni are the ones that are really getting things done for Leadership North Carolina. So to all of you, I say thank you. This is a 25th anniversary. I sincerely appreciate all that you've done to contribute not only to this program, but to North Carolina. Thank you.